Yo, everybody, what's up? OCD Mikey Hi-Fi Guy here for another show, another live stream, doing it live where you guys can talk to me, ask me questions, whatever. We can talk about anything. And I've got a couple things that I can think of off the top of my head, a couple things that we'll bring up, but we'll let, again, as usual, we'll let the crowd chalk in or whatever queue build until we have more peeps, and then I'll go into what I was going to go into. So first off, Ben from Haarlem, Netherlands. Hi, Mickey. I know your respected opinion on Chi-Fi J's Audio CDT3 gets many great reviews, performance, and used components. How does it compare to CEC? I have no idea. Let's do this. You know it. Let's go. Showtime. Yes. Yoo-hoo. Tea time. Yes, it is. Thomas Clark, evening from Oregon. Tom, I was just in touch. Maybe I should play this video for you guys. I was just in touch. I'll introduce you to John Greeny, who is the Portland timpani. He plays timpani in the Portland Symphony, and he's part of our tribe. And he sent me, let's see, Greeny. I sold him a system because that's what I do. I curate audio systems front to back, except for vinyl, but he's got vinyl in here. So let's see, check this out. I didn't sell him the subs, everything else Fisher & Fisher 770s. I told him about your 570s. He's got 770s. He plays in the symphony, and he loves to. So this is that. There's his doggy. One of my clients right there, and one of our tribe. He plays symphony. He plays in the symphony orchestra. He taught me some cool stuff about symphony when he came over. Some because I'm clueless when it comes to that, but it was really cool. Anyways, so yeah, Tommy, I'll put you in touch. Matika, what's up? Did you get your I sent you your, what did I send to you? Your DAC. Did you get your DAC already? Should be there, man. Dan, what's up, Dan? Hey, Mikey. Hey, Tribe. Chalk Talk. You know it, man. Hey, Mike, what's up, Julio? Julio, dude, I got my eyes on a frickin' Reverso. And your DAC has been sent, too. Your playback is on its way. Did you get it yet? I got to show Julio because I know he likes Reversos. I love the Reverso, bro. And I put one on the other day, and I'm like, oh, this is the one. I got to show you. I just got to show you real quick. There it is. Just gorgeous, man. It's going to be the rose gold version, this one. That thing is bad to the bone, brother. I'm not that into duo time. I don't really care. I don't travel like where I need duo time, but I like the blue and I like the tick marks rather than the Arabic numerals. How much are a pair of the Kleins? Why do you guys keep asking? They're $3,800. Yeah, that's what they are for. They're for near field at a desk. That's exactly what they're for. They're phenomenal. They're retarded. It's stupid. It's a stupid price. I don't even know why they sell them. I don't know why they go through the trouble of making those and then selling them for $3,800 with outboard crossovers. It's stupid. It is an absolutely overperforming speaker that is at a very low price. And that's what they're best for is on the desk. I wouldn't put them in your room. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't put them in a room. I'll put them on a desk. That's what I'd use them for. Drago checking in from Evanston. What's up, tribe? What's up, buddy? I'll be in Chicago this week. Danny boy. Hey, Tom, I'm from Portland. We're in Oregon. Oh, Matika, you're there too, brother. Okay, so we got 3 in the posse that I just put together. With the guy, the video that I just showed you, that guy's in Portland too, John Greeny, symphony timpani player. Hello from the Pacific Northwest in Washington State. There you go, man. I have not been up to Seattle or Washington or Portland, Oregon or Oregon. I will be coming. Awesome. Cool to get Fisher and Fisher established in the Northwest. Yeah, absolutely. There's a little stronghold in Portland, man. You guys have good taste. Sent you an email with question on new gear. No reply. Is email a no-go for you? Yes. It says it in clear letters on the top of my website on 11 Stereo. Do not send emails. I don't sit at a desk and read emails. I'm not a desk guy. Okay. You have to talk to me. I'm a consultant. I don't type and talk to people and give prices and consult over by typing. You talk to me. I get to know you. It's a very personal thing with me. I do consultation and I have to get to know you and I have to know your listening habits. Like I'm not going to sit there and type back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So yes, you must call me 404-764-6233. The number's on the website. Please call me. That's the best way to get a hold. It's going to call. It's going to be my cell phone. No matter where I am, I have my phone on me. If I'm on my motorcycle, I can answer it in my helmet. Julio gets a Tuesday. All right. Sweet, brother. That's a great watch. You know it, brother. I can see. I like yours too, man. It's beautiful. That'll be my dress watch. Yo, Mikey, there's Greeny right there. Tiffany 123. You know why you haven't heard from me in so long? Because you did it. I don't think about hi-fi anymore. Fisher and Fisher 770s, Jeff Rowland, and a Meitner, done like the dishes. Look, man, he just said it. He not only did I get Greeny across the line, but Greeny is a musician that plays in the symphony orchestra. Okay, so think about his ears and what he's used to hearing and how he's used to hearing music. And he no longer thirsts for anything hi-fi. I've got him off the train. I've got him across the line. I have done this for hundreds of people. And I'd love to do it for you guys too that have not called me. For the guy that just said that you want to call, you got to just call, pick up the phone and call me. That's how you get it. You're going to be best served. Again, email, no. So right on. Thanks for the feedback, Greeny. Yes, I got my DAC yesterday. I'm stoked to plug it in tomorrow. I'll keep you updated. Cool, Matika. Awesome. Tom, I connected those beautiful cables you sent me today to my amp. Veerstar equals quality. Looking forward to connecting the 570s. There you go, buddy. Coming right up, Tommy. You're in Lake Oswego. Don't badmouth outboard crossovers for speakers. Who badmouthed it? I did. Where did you get badmouth? I'm saying it's too much fucking work. You're getting too much for your money. Outboard crossovers are expensive. Okay, it adds extra cost. It adds extra cables. I don't want to sell. I don't think it's smart for them to sell the Klein. It's too fucking cheap. It's too inexpensive. It doesn't cost enough. It should be the same price as the SN70s. It's got an outboard crossover plus Audio Quest, like 8-foot cables that go from the crossover. That's why I don't even talk about it, man. It's too much. I don't want them spending their time building some shit that like sells for $3,800. Spend your time building 570s, 770s, 1000s, so I'm not bad mouthing them. And this is the problem with people listening. Dan, I'm not slandering, and I'm not, again, don't hear that I'm trashing you or whatever. But what people do is they hear what they want to hear. They don't hear what I'm saying. I did not badmouth outboard crossovers. I said it's too extravagant of a build for the price. They've got freaking outboard crossovers. What the F? It's too extravagant of a build. I'm marking them up. I'm marking them up to 4,500. I'm going to mark them up to $4,000. Well, they're at 3,800 anyways. I'm going to mark them up to 4,300. It's just There's no reason for them to make those. There's no reason for them. For what? For guys to put on their desk? It's I mean, that's what they're for. But they're built way too well for that little amount of money. What do you think about tubes and DACs? I don't like tubes and DACs. There's, for the most part, there's a couple tube DACs that I think sound great. But typically I don't like, if they're $10,000 DACs, I don't know. I'm not a fan of a whole bunch of tubes in a DAC, and typically very, very, you know how I feel about tubes, man. I don't like them in the DAC. That's the bottom line. There's two models that I like, and one, the tubes are so little they fit inside the chassis. You never remove them. They're soldered to the board because they're those little Nixie tubes or whatever they're called. Hey Tribe, what's up, Wes? Hey Mikey, slammed busy. All right, Rich. Great that you do the live streams. Looking forward to get permanently landed to get my final rig to you. New on tech, still killing it with the AGDs. Attaboy, man. Should we show them our bikes? Rich has a oh no, I'm sorry. Rich has Les Pauls. My other boy over here has an Indian. Hey Mike, could you sell me MPD8 and MPT8? I live in the UK and I would prefer to buy from you as I am a tribe member. Yeah, just call me, contact me on WhatsApp. I need to find out who the distributor is over there, and I need to find out if it's cool if I can sell to you. Typically, depending on what's happening, I may be able to sell to you. I was able to sell to Germany. So I just need to know who the distributor is, and I can ask. Just contact me. You can contact me tomorrow. You can just call me on WhatsApp. If you can't find WhatsApp, then call me on my phone number that's on. How am I in WhatsApp? You can just find Mike Powell. Let's see. Let me see if I can see how I am in WhatsApp. Make it easier for you. Let's see. New group, no. Calls, updates, chats, calls. I don't know how to find my. Anybody know how I find my settings? Okay, Mike Powell, OCD. Let's see, account. Here we go. Let's see. Mike Powell, OCD, Hi-Fi Guy. It's just like that. Mike Powell, OCD, Hi-Fi Guy. And it has my number, 404-764-6233. Call me on WhatsApp. You'll see the phone number. Jared, joining in during the kids' bath time routine. Got to get the next gen involved. You know it. Okay, so welcome, you guys. Jared is part of my my inner team, and we've got Jared has taught me almost everything I know about watches. Jared is a watch aficionado, and he helped me decide on JLC. Although we didn't talk about Polaris, this was something that was just a surprise. But Jared has 3 beautiful Reversos, and I tried one on and I love the way it fit, and now I'm gonna buy a Reverso. When I put it on, the watches are weird, man. You put on ones that you think you would like, and you put them on your wrist and you're like, no way. And then ones that you don't really think you put them on your wrist, you're like, that's it immediately. It's great. Yeah, so Jared is in the inner circle of our of the brain trust for what we're doing in 2025 with the tribe. So thanks to Jared. You'll know him soon. You will all know him. A stunning little speaker for the money, and they should be some value in the market. It's so overpriced, generally speaking. Yeah, Shane's saying that the market's overpriced, that it's ridiculous. Why would you mark up a fabulous small monitor that might work in someone's home as a near field monitor? Seems like you're punishing folks who want the Kleins. No, I only have so much bandwidth, and I need to and I don't want to if you want the Kleins, call me. Nobody's getting punished. I'm just I'm not going to mark them up, dude. They're $3,800. Anybody fucking wants them, buy them, and then that's all there is to it. Don't make me talk about them anymore. Hey, it's one of those nights again where I'm up past 3 a.m. and I can tune in for a minute live. We'll watch later as always. I love these streams. I listen whenever. All right, Christoph. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Julio, PSA Mikey is great on the phone and knows his Cuban food. You know, brother. I'm a food weirdo. I would want a tube soldered. I wouldn't want a tube soldered in my DAC that's not user replaceable. Well, okay, so think about it, Sean. That's because the user is never going to need to replace it. Is that not self-evident? If they solder it in, it's because it never needs to be changed. That's why it's soldered in. It lasts 100 years. It never breaks. It never burns out. It's the most modern tube that was ever made. It has zero microphonics. So if you don't want it, don't buy it. What makes a reverso reverso? The JLC pick you showed is fairly standard. That watch, you take it and you go like, okay, you go like, it sits, let's say this is the face, okay? It slides to the side and then it flips over, and then you've got another watch on the other side, complete watch. So you can have two different time zones. And this one, say, will be white face, and then you go like that, and then this one will be black face. The reason they were made like that, and actually they were really originally made where you'd have your watch face here, and you'd go like that and flip it over, and it was a hard case, just a covered case, because it was for playing polo. And so when the men were playing polo, they'd take their watch, they'd slide it, they'd flip it around, and now the crystal was protected. So you could play polo and not smash your watch. That's originally why it is. And then they turned it into, some of them have exhibition back. You flip them around and you can see the movement. Other ones, you flip them around and it's got another dial and everything, another time zone. And then other ones you flip around and it's just a hard case back, so you can protect your crystal if you're banging stuff around. By the way, you might have noticed I have those rel subs with my 770s. I did. You don't need them, correct? But I'm a timpani player and therefore I'm a bottom feeder. So I only have those on a tiny bit, but no need. Yeah, right. So you can put those, would you cross them over at like 40 or something like that? Really low? I'm from Hungary, and I'm curious if you have any connections here in Hungary. I do not. The hi-fi scene is pretty significant here, but also a small market, of course. I don't have any contacts there, but if you want to be our hi-fi tribe guy, then welcome aboard. Sonny says, hey, Mikey, what do you think about the new Avant-Garde Colibri? Is it a lifestyle product? No, I would not consider it a lifestyle product. What I might consider it, if I was going to, call it anything, I might say it's a borderline commercial product. Like, it's something that I could see being used in clubs and bars, theme parks, theaters, movie theaters, anywhere where you're playing tunes to a large group. You could put those on columns like all over the place, and they would be killer for that. And the reason that I feel that way is because they have mounts top and bottom that for a bracket. So when I see mounts like that, I go, okay, so they're for mounting on the wall. Okay, I can look at these things with their horns and everything. It seems very much like it would be a commercial type product. That's actually how Klipsch began, I believe, with their Heresy. They were like for movie theaters. So that's all I would say. They're cool little speakers, man. And then you get a huge ass. Well, you buy and add the 15-inch giant sub. They're pretty wicked, man. They would jam like house music in amazing level. Matika, Tom, we got to connect, neighbor. I'm in Durham near Bridgeport Village. I'd love to check out your system. Can I have Mikey put us in contact? No worries at all if you wish to remain private. Yeah, I've talked to Matika. He seems pretty cool, Greenie. Meet in a public place with bright lights. Hey, Mikey, what's the deal with the buzz about using HQ Player to do external upsampling for the DAC? HQ Player, if people don't know, is playback software. Okay, so it's an equivalent or something similar to Rune or M Player, M Player HD, M Player HD, or any of the Audirvana or any of the other things, Volumio. You know, there's a million of these softwares that play music. HQ Player is widely known as the one that's the most complex. It takes a big computer to run it. That's kind of the problem. So you can't really run HQ Player at the rig. You kind of have to have it in a desktop, something strong, or a two CPU unit. So you use one CPU for playback, one CPU for the HQ Player because it's resource heavy. Some people like it because you can tweak the shit out of it, but other people don't like it because only an engineer can understand it. It's like one of those things that you got to freaking go to school, basically. You know, I'm teasing, of course, but you got to go. It's got so many settings that some people you'll lose them with all those settings. It's just too involved. But for the technical minded, they like it. So that's what the deal is with it. If you're a real tweakster, then maybe you want HQ Player. I'm going to buy myself a reversal for my 15th season with the orchestra. That watch feels like butter on the wrist. Totally. So easy to play drums with it on. So comfortable and beautiful. Totally. So classy too. I agree. I have to find one in rose gold with the proper face that I want, the color and all that kind of stuff. It sucks because that one that I showed you, I mean, I think you can typically get them in rose gold on the secondhand market for around $12K, but the one I showed you is like 24, you know, if you get it new. So it's quite a delta. Hey, Mikey, Margulis at CAF was pretty close to your Fisher system. Songs like I've Got to See You Again sounded like Norah Jones was up on stage. Over exaggerated soundstage on fourth. That's a personal thing if you think it's over exaggerated or not, you know. And speaking about CAF, let me share something with you. I want to show you. Here we go. Share screen. Okay. Here we go. Share. Okay. So here is Brett. Oh, I can't remember. I'll have to go to the top. This is a show report. Brett Rudolph went through, and he's part of Enjoy the Music, and he comes through and he comes to the room and he really likes the room. This is on the end. So the best of Capital Audiofest 2024 from enjoythemusic.com, and look who gets the best loudspeaker. Or just at least special mention. It blows away the Chesky. The Chesky, probably because it was $800 or something like that. But anyways, Fisher and Fisher, we won the award, Best of CAF 2024 Blue Note Awards. So that is pretty cool. Now, another thing that's pretty cool is, let me go and see, is, and this is kind of funny. I'm going to share something with you here. This one. Okay, so here's Rick Becker, okay, writing about my room, and he has a picture of Systrom and Virastar. And when they did this, when they printed my stuff, they didn't print everything that I put in my that I emailed back when I filled out the form. So it didn't get printed on the room label, you know, that Gary gave me. So instead of tripping out and freaking out on Gary and going to try to get another one printed, I just wrote it in. Who gives a shit? I just wrote it in. Make it as you know, clear as can be. And evidently that bothers Rick Becker. Now, I'd like to take a second, and this is nothing against the guy himself. It's just about people getting derailed by trivial things, okay? And this guy getting derailed by the fact that I hand wrote it, to me, it just shows how fickle and kind of silly the industry is. I mean, who cares that I wrote it in? Clearly, I needed to because it wasn't printed on there. So I had to do it last minute. And so I printed it. Big deal. Why do you give a shit? But instead, this guy writes, the sign at the room set the tone for my experience. Well, it looks like his tone changed. I think he probably added the rest of the stuff in on the end when he realized I got an award. First of all, as a writer, I have to say I hate. He uses the word hate. Okay, so he's filled with hatred about these companies. I never say I hate anything in my channel. I may say I don't like things, but I never use a word as strong as hate because I don't really hate anything. I just things bother me and I don't like them. But hate is a heavy word. I have to say I hate these companies. So he hates me, my company, because I don't know that I insist on using small letters at the start of their name or solid caps. Solid caps. Some companies have, he hates it that I use the small E in 11 stereo, but a big E doesn't show off the 11 as good. The small E is there on purpose. It's from a visual standpoint. That way the number 11 stands higher. If I put an E up here, the 11 won't pop off the line as well as it does in this way. So he's a writer, but he doesn't understand design because I'm a designer and a small E works better on a line like that to make my digits pop, number 11. Okay, well, he doesn't clearly get that. Okay, and it's a visual nightmare for poor Rick Becker. It's a pain in the fingernails to type like that, solid pain, and a visual nightmare when trying to find a non-capitalized name in the middle of a paragraph when rewriting the text, whatever. So it's all about him and writing, and that's what he's sharing with us. He's in his own head and thinking about himself. Okay, the use of three styles of text in the signage was indicative of the visual schism of the rig. Okay, so who gives a shit about a visual schism in the rig? And then he's saying a guy who worked in the Department of Psychiatry for a couple of decades. Okay, so that explains it all. He's got his own neuroses, as we can see at the top, because printing and putting letters, little insignificant things, are nightmares for him. So, anyways, whatever. Everybody has their own perception. So he has to wonder about the OCD hi-fi guy who hand prints his message on official signage for the room. Because who gives a shit, Rick? That's why. Because who gives a shit? What's official? Official? What official? U.S. government official? No, it's not. It's a silly hi-fi show where we go have fun, dude. It's not a driver's license. It's not a passport. It's not a birth certificate. Official signage for the room. So to me, that's funny, okay? And it just shows the fickle nature of these old dudes in the industry, And yeah, Rick, I'm talking about you, buddy. I mean, you're getting hung up on silly things. Now, I will give Rick a pass because he redeems himself as we go down, okay? But I don't know if this was always written in here or after he found out I got an award, then he wrote this in here. So as we go down, he said, here's a look at the room. It's pretty well laid out. But the System platforms, they're not Systems, dude. They're Live Vibe Audio. So the Live Vibe Audio rack and the stands are too large for the diminutive components they support. Okay, not my fault. That's what the company wanted to bring. They told me they want to use all their stuff. I said I actually was against it, but they're bringing the racks, and I don't even care. It doesn't matter to me. Put whatever you want. You guys are selling the damn racks. I don't get it's your company. I'm not getting a piece of any of your action. I don't sell your System racks. I just tell people that they're great and they can go ahead and buy them. The Live Vibes. Okay. So he's upset because they're too big for the small speakers. Maybe that's the idea, to show off more of the rack and stands. Maybe that's the idea that they had. It wasn't the idea I had. Maybe they're trying to make a statement and command the room, but they are deserving of much more elegant components, like say MBL in gloss black. Okay, so now whatever. Okay, so in other words, they should have $100,000 speakers on them, is what he's saying. actually fill up the space. It also struck me that these stands were similar to what I saw on the Live Vibe audio table on the balcony. Maybe there's a connection. So Rick, you don't even understand that it's the same company. Okay. So Rick is still stuck in the past with the name System, whereby the company on Live Vibe Audio is the same person, the same designers, the same guys. So there's something there. Now he comes around. Now we crack a little of the smelling salt under his nose when he listens to this stuff. Okay. And he says to drive the knob on the front switches between low and zero feedback for 4 or 8 ohms. Very cool. Okay, cool. Yes, it is very cool. And then he goes into the audio analog DAC on top, built-in volume control, fed from NS1M Labs, bottom shelf audio analog drive using a modified TAC transport, similar to what's used in TAC's higher line esoteric brand. That's in this little inexpensive transport that I brought for backup. Me, Mike Powell, OCD hi-fi guy who has turned a manufacturing and vlogging career into an on-phone line retail business. Okay, so again, it's funny that they're journalists, but they don't even do their homework, okay? Because I turned an online phone line retail business into a vlogging career, okay? I was a manufacturer first, okay, and online sales. And then I turned it into a vlogging career. So he's got it backwards. I've been in this 25 years. I've got a patent in cable design. I'm way steeper in manufacturing. I got way more experience in selling and manufacturing than I do doing silly freaking YouTube videos. That's why I'm so plain and off the cuff, because I'm not a vlogger. I'm not trying to make this pretty. I'm just using this as my way to talk to you guys. Just so happens it's on this platform, but this is how I talk to my people. And it's my megaphone. That's what YouTube is. It's not a career. I don't have a vlogging career. My career is as a designer and a seller. Anyways, Fisher & Fisher two-way mounters from Germany, so my camera could attach to finely crafted slate cabinets. These not only looked outstanding, but sounded outstanding too. Okay, there. Finally, we get to the important part. How does it sound? You'd think, but again, remember how I went through the last journalist that did the video, and all he talked about was all the other stuff, and he didn't even, we got like this much about the sound. Well, here we go. Finally, we get to the goods. Sounded outstanding. Okay, so of course it did sound outstanding. Okay, I noticed one of my peers, here we go, and Enjoy has already given this room a Best Rooms Award, which echoed the sentiment of many showgoers recorded on video. That's right. Many people that came in had the same sentiment. Best sound and show. And posted on the 11stereo.com website. I must concur, but I would certainly not put these products on the rhythm stands as rack as good as they may be. That's just weird. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you put them on whatever rack you freaking want to? Who cares? It's just funny. It doesn't fit. They're too elegant. I need more elegant stuff than $4,500 speakers. It's funny. But they looked outstanding, but they're not elegant enough. Okay, so it just kind of shows. Sometimes I think these journalists just ramble on. I don't think they really think much about what they're writing, because they contradict themselves in many ways. VeraStar Me is the cable brand. That's how I started. Okay, and I have a patent, which is from which 11 Stereo evolved. Look at that. He got that right. So it contradicts what he said, turning a vlogging career into online. But anyways, he does say turn a manufacturing and vlogging career into online phone. Okay, so he's probably talking about 11 Stereo's new. Mike originally began in the manufacturing sector. Well, there we go. Okay, so they got that right. The description on the website talks about foil cable design, though the more affordable models used in the system appear round. Yes, I do that on purpose so that I don't have ridiculously, even my cable top of the line are not ridiculously priced, but in that system, the complete system was under 30K. So in order to do that, I didn't do any trickery like putting expensive cables in. I used cables that were $500-700 so that I'm not up to anything, right? You guys are hearing it my cables are great, even the standard ones, but that was by design. By design, I don't go in there with my best cables. pure silver foils trying to blow everyone's mind, and I've got a $30,000 rig and then $30,000 worth of cables. I think that's asinine. So I don't do that. While many others might, I just don't. That's just the outside. Unfortunately, cable model specifications and pricing unavailable on the website. Yeah, because the cables, I'm not tripping on cables. Okay. And cables we're gearing up for in 2025. And trust me, soon enough, you'll see them in there. So that was that. So I just wanted to share that with you. We won the awards. And then I thought I would also go through this other part to show you kind of, and we could sort of look at what these, how these guys write about stuff, and you can form your own judgment. Here we are. Have you had Evan's gear? How was it? Who's Evan? Are you going to Axpona? I don't know. You have to ask me closer to the show. It depends. If I haven't seen my friends in Chicago for a while and I want to go to some restaurants there, I might do it. I really don't like Axpona. Too big, too much of a zoo. Now it's just from my standpoint. From you guys' standpoint, from a viewer or an attendee, Axpona is totally cool. There's everything there, and it's just a freaking zoo. So you'll be able to see everything. But from my standpoint, I've got no business there. I'm not going to cover the rooms and try and even attempt to go to every room. And I'm not going to exhibit there because you get totally overshadowed by all the too much rigmarole. So it's not worth it in terms of the ROI. But I may show up just to poke around and have fun. What are my take on oversampling for DACs? No. Can I give it one word? No. No oversampling. Okay. No upsampling, no oversampling. The only thing I will say that works well is transcoding to DSD. I like that. That's not upsampling. It's different. But the upsampling, no, man. You get artifacts with upsampling. You have to do it. Maybe some people can do it. Some companies know how to do it really well. But typically, I do not like, even when I listen to the high-res HD stuff on Rune, you know, like what is that? That stuff, little, man, I'm forgetting what that's called. The thing that they use, the HD files, you know, they're upsampled. The original recording was 1644 or tape in many times, and then they upsample it and they're adding resolution where there isn't any. So I don't like it. It's no. I'm eyeing a Vacheron Historique American 1921. Love sports watches, but for whatever reason, this dress watch speaks to me. But you're right. I won't really know for sure until I put it on. That's the thing, man. And then I find on Chrono 24, I'll find really cool watches, and I'm like, shit, I want to buy it, but I don't know how it wears or looks on me. It looks great in the picture, and I'm telling you, you know how many times it's totally different when you see it in person than when you see it in the picture. Most of the times the watch looks much better in person. What's your take on oversampling? Yeah, can't stand it. Matika and Tom, I live in the Northwest Hills. We should start a Portland chapter for the tribe. Absolutely, guys. Do it. You can smoke pipes and cigars and whatever you guys smoke in Portland, and drink some killer coffee and wine. And I know that, well, I won't tell them the kind of the cool stuff that you guys do with music, but Greenie is involved in some cool events, music events. You guys should be part of it. Agreed. Yes. Hey, Mikey, hope you had a great weekend. Thanks, Andy. Which Andy is this? Aloha Tribe, checking in from the Big Island. Aloha, man. Dude, I talked to man, I've got a client, dude, that is he's between San Diego and Hawaii. And dude is like, he's 72 years old and still surfs, still does speed paddling or something like that. This guy's crazy. Long ass hair. He's a total surfer. It's like I love the guy, man. He's so classic, so classic. I love it when we talk, man. Happy Sunday, Mikey. Would the Fisher and Fisher SN70 be too small for 14 by wide 20 foot? I already have 2 rhythmic subs. Yeah, I would say, yeah. Unless you sit close and you can kind of corner load them into the corners. If you can corner load them into the corners, then they might be all right. But I would do something bigger in that size of a room. Will I be powering up off tube amps? Potentially. Are you abandoning solid state for your reference rig? It's a good question. Once I have to see, man. I have to put them in and listen. I have to see what sounds great, man. I'm listening to some tube amps right now that are pretty damn good, and they're reminding me why I like tube amps. Definitely just that ethereal thing. I'm currently planning an ADU for a new soup to nut system by Mikey, but still need to learn more about the tribe and products. I'm very new to the tribe. Cool. Well, just ask questions, hang out. You can hear a Mikey rig at Greenie's if you go by Greenie's Place. Congratulations. Thanks, Dan. Not sure I remember what it was congrats for. What do I think of the Chesky Kid speaker? It's cool. I think it's more than anything, it's cool that David's son is getting into the business. It's cool that a guy, he's like 18 years old, great kid. I met him, that he's doing a business venture on his own, creating something and selling it. That is cool. I was not even close to that together at that age. So that is the coolest thing about it. It's a cool little speaker for people that want to spend $1,000 or $800, whatever they are. Is it something that is gonna blow your mind? No, I don't think it intends to do that. Was it anywhere close? Would it be like close to the Kleins? No. But of course it shouldn't. The Kleins are $3,800, like 4 times the cost of the Chesky speaker. So it's a inexpensive little speaker that the people his age can buy from him, and maybe older people that have smaller means or whatever, just maybe want a cheap speaker or an inexpensive speaker, I should say, for their desk or for a second rig or whatever. I don't know. But it's not hi-fi, high-end audio. You know what I mean? What are your opinion on Revel speakers? Very hard to drive and analytical once you figure out a big ass amp to run them. Those are analytical as shit, dude. They're mastering level speakers. They're like they're borderline harsh. They're very unforgiving, extremely unforgiving. Not only in terms of the power and current you need to drive them, but in terms of the sonic and how edgy and forward it can be. They're very hard for those things to be. They're not musical speakers. They're analytical speakers. WTF. You got me. I don't know what you're talking about. About the thing. Oh, okay. Dan was saying congratulations about the award. You were saying what the F on. Okay, got it. I have to catch up because I'm behind. I forgot. Any lifestyle integrated amps that you'd say cut above their weight? NAD, Cambridge Audio, Peachtree. What is beginners to grab? Second, what's the budget? That's what I need to know. Matika, my system is 95% soup to nuts Mikey system. He will set you right. Have faith in the Lord, OCD Mike, our savior. That's funny. Yeah, man, I bend over backwards. I do whatever it takes to get you across the line. Nobody's ever unsatisfied after they're done dealing with me. That's you will not be unsatisfied. I will guarantee you that. And more often than not, you're going to be mind blown. That's really what I strive for. I don't strive just to satisfy you. I strive to blow your mind. So, yep, you guys are laughing at the thing I read. Matika, happy to have you over sometime. No speakers at the moment, so no tunes. New ones are on the way. Yeah, Tom will have 570 soon. I'd love that. What speakers? He got Fisher and Fisher SN 570s. He got some. Those are so sweet, Tommy. Oh my God, dude. They're really cool. And they sound so good. Thanks for explaining the reversal watch stuff. Yes, 12K difference between used and new JLC is huge. It is. They're not like Rolex where they go stay the same price or go up. But I don't think hardly any watches are. Fisher and Fisher SM570. Yep. Very nice. Congrats. Get my number from Mikey. Sure. Mike, what are your thoughts on Tecton speakers? I think you probably get a lot for your money. I typically I wouldn't use them, but then again, you got to realize who you're talking to or who's speaking right now. I'm very picky about stuff. I don't like things that look kind of like DIY. I like them to look like there's no freaking way I could build these. Not, oh, I think I could do these. And Tecton is kind of one of those. It's very, but again, the price belies the look, right? They're very inexpensive for big speakers. The visual on those things all together, I have something, a weird tweak that's in deep in my subconscious with any shit that looks like holes all together that have a thing inside, like a little egg pod with a worm that's going to squirm out and do something. It triggers something weird. So I can't even look at that shit, much less um, in my mind overcome that it's a bunch of things in this array that really shouldn't work together. I know to look past that, there's a lot of things that shouldn't work in audio that do work, but that's one of those things that I'm just like, it just looks like a clusterfuck. And I'm like, I just don't want anything to do with it. It looks like a clusterfuck, and it reminds me of like hive mind or whatever, brain coagulation. I don't know what it is. It's just too weird. It's too, it irks me. There's something about it that just irks me. So I don't, so that's just a personal thing. But from what I hear and in my experience, they sound good at first. They do something interesting. I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. But over time, I think people sell them. I don't think those are the type of speakers that people hang on to forever. And I'd rather sell you something that you hang on to forever. So that's that. Please remind us of that non-alcoholic beer. Yeah, it is hella good. Chauffe. I don't know how to even say it, man. I'm not even going to try because it's going to be wrong. It's from Belgium. It's good stuff. Really, really good. Oh, Tom Evans Audio. Have you tested some of his gear? No, I haven't. The Tom Evans. Oh, that's the plastic preamp for 30 grand. All I know is that somebody opened it up. I think it's the Aaron's Audio Corner, or somebody opened it up. Some other guy maybe that opened it up and saw cheap parts inside and then made a video about it. And then supposedly Tom Evans doubled down on it, like didn't somehow stood for himself, which I guess is a good thing. But I guess people were lamenting that he went double down. I don't know the story, and I don't really care to. It's I've never even heard of Tom Evans, so it's not even on my radar. So when I heard there's some company that I don't know about that's making a cheap product that's 30 grand, I'm just like, oh, really? Another one? Because there's many. Yeah, I haven't tested it. I don't know anything about it. Weed, David says about what they smoke in Portland. Bundaberg ginger beer is the best. Is it non-alcoholic? Have you guys seen the Mend It Mark YouTube video on the 25K preamp repair and exposes the manufacturer who ground off all the markings on the components? 6K for the repair. Emperor's close example, I guess is what you're saying. 25K preamp repair. Oh, the repair of the 25K preamp. 6K for the repair. Oh yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Many companies, once you get to repair, like I had to get some boards for a freaking Rockna. I got one left, a Rockna, an old Rockna, and I had to get some boards for it because they improved their boards. They fixed a glitch, and it was like a warranty thing. And they would give them to me. They would just replace when I was bringing them in and I was buying direct from Rockna. They would just give me the free boards. And the new distributor, who I know, wanted me to pay him $2,000 for him. I ended up having to pay $1,500 for him, which is absolutely ridiculous just for 2 output boards. When I was getting them free before. And then the response was, it's just business. Well, I'll have my it's just business comment back. And there will be a time when I look at him in the eye and I say, it's just business. It's the way the cookie crumbles. Some people just hard-nosed business people. There is no camaraderie. There is no loyalty as friends. There is no, they still make you fucking pay, right? I'm not that way. I do business with friends and I don't make them pay. So what comes around goes around. I've got a Class A amplifier coming in that will go up against, what's that damn brand? It's a damn brand, Westminster Labs, that's made in fucking China but uses a British name. Whatever, one of those brands again, $30,000 or something like that for amplifiers that are made in China. Okay, but they cloak around like they're really elegant, and maybe they sound good. I'm not even talking about whether they sound good or not. I'm just talking about $30,000 amps made in a place where labor is very cheap. Anyways, that's beside the point. I've got a Class A amp that will cost less and sound better and is made in Europe. Those will be coming shortly. And maybe I'll compare them to Westminster in a A-B comparison, just because it's free market, right? Stupid shit, man. Fuck that. But hey, fight fire with fire. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Isn't that what the Old Testament says? So anyways, and then the Chinese are masters at grinding off all the markings of their stuff. Speaking about Chinese stuff, I wonder if in the Westminster labs they have all their shit scraped off the chips. But stuff like what is it? Damn it. Jay's Audio Lab. Someone mentioned Jay's Audio Transport, Kinky Studio, and Denafrips. Okay. All those guys grind off the numbers off the thing. So you can't, it's so funny. These are companies that copy designs because China is notorious for copying designs. They copy designs, then they grind off the numbers so you can't copy their copy. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Very, very, very funny. But anyways, yeah. So it's not unheard of to grind numbers off. Push Pull Coffee Cafe in Portland is the bomb. Sounds like it, man. Do you listen to music in there? Maine Root Ginger Beer is my favorite. Oh, yeah. Okay. You're talking about like the soda ginger beer. I love that stuff. It's great. How does M-Connect Pro compare to Rune Labs sonically? Supposedly it's better. I haven't done the side-by-side, but I've heard my clients say it sounds better. It's cleaner. It's not as resource heavy. Rune is a resource pig. It drains and taxes the CPU when it's running. M-Connect much lighter. The flip side of that is it's not as comprehensive. It's not as pretty as Rune. It doesn't have it doesn't save your history the way Rune does. There's just some features. Rune has more features. Rune has DSP in it, which M-Connect does not. But M-Connect is free and it sounds very good. Maybe you can check and then let me know what you think, next week. Is there a Mikey rig in San Diego one could listen to? San Diego. No, there's some in LA. San Diego, man. Who's down in San Diego? I can't think of one offhand. There may be. I just can't think of one offhand. There will be Mikey rigs across the nation in 2025. And you will be able to look on a map and see where all 100 locations are. We're going to be global. How would you compare the new $5,500 AA DAC volume controlled with OnTech DAC 08? The OnTech DAC 08 does not have a volume control, so it's incomparable. Are you saying without the volume, using it without the volume control? At WM, I can recommend Primare Audio. Clean musical aesthetic, and older models used are especially great. He's talking about the integrated amps. Doesn't sound Class D. Again, similar AB amps. Yeah, Class D is like, the more I play with stuff, Class D is like making its way out of my life. It's good stuff, don't get me wrong, but it's not got a place in my life. What are your thoughts on Shanini speakers? I don't know. It sounds like it's oh man. I know what the, god damn it, Arsham. It was from, I know where that where I know the country where that name is from, but I can't think of it. Under 3K budget used for my above question on lifestyle amp. Under 3K used. I've got something under 3K. Does it need to have a DAC in it? Or are you just looking for an integrated? Because I've got a killer Italian made integrated right now that is a hybrid. It's dual mono, 2 huge toroids. It's made by Unison Research. I'd sell it for $2,500. And the thing is beefy. It's powerful. It's got a tube in it so you can tube roll. Heck of a piece. Anybody wants it, let me know, man. I don't use it, and I took it on trade and I never used it. I thought I was going to use it in the bedroom. I never used it. You may have already mentioned this, but you recently reviewed a Pure Audio Project Trio 15. No, I didn't. Couple things. First of all, I'm not a reviewer, so I don't review stuff. I just give you my opinion. And typically, I don't talk about it unless it's stuff that I think is badass enough for me to make a video about. Like, holy shit, this is killer. I got to tell them about this. And then I'll make a video about it. The Trio 15s are phenomenal speakers. That's why I made the videos, but I made those like 4 years ago. Definitely was not recent. Maybe 5 years ago. Maybe longer, as a matter of fact. Probably 8 years ago. Now that I think about 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 8 years ago, because I'm thinking my mom died in 2000. Those speakers were in the room when we were playing music when she was still alive. Yeah, great speaker, phenomenal speaker. Yes, my congrats were about your CAF recognition. Got it. Yeah, thanks, man. What drivers are in the entry Fisher and Fisher? Why does it matter to you? Let's play this game. You guys know my feeling on this shit, right? Okay. Tell me why. Tell me why you want to know. Tell me why it matters to you. And give me a fucking good answer. Don't give me some bullshit of, tell me why it matters. Okay. My position is it doesn't fucking matter. Okay. You know that. Anybody that watches me knows that. What I want to know is, you're an end user, a listener. Tell me or give me a response that lets me know that you are why you want to know and what you're going to do with the information. Like, just makes sense. I mean, clearly, if you want to know, you have to have a reason why you want to know, and tell us what that reason is. Let's play this out. Because I teach people that it doesn't matter what's in there, but you think it does matter. So why don't you tell me? Typically, it's because people are trying to copy it, is one, or they're trying to value the speaker. And these are people that don't know what they're doing, right? Now, depending on your answer, you could give me an answer that makes me feel like you're an engineer, and then I would go, okay, well, maybe, but then you wouldn't ask what drivers. You would ask me what the specification is. You would say, what's the Q, or what's the X Max, or whatever. So tell us, just, and I'm not being a dick, but I want to show people here how this is going to come back empty. Okay. I'm asking him why he wants to know what drivers, or she, and I'll do this with you guys every time. Anytime people bring up what's inside, I'm going to ask them why, and let's see if anybody can even talk about it. Okay. Because I can talk about it to a higher level than most. I'm not an engineer, but let's see if you can even, if you're qualified to ask that question, basically. Because otherwise, if you're not qualified and you ask that question, it's a silly question, right? Do you have any experience with digital room correction like Dirac or ARC Genesis? No, because I do not like DSP in my rig. I don't want it. Why, you ask? Because I like systems that are harder to make sound good. Like, in other words, you can take a piece of shit system and pretty much make it sound good with digital room correction, right? But it's contrived sound. It's like fake sounds good. It sounds good, but it's not the same sounds good as a system that you've tuned passively by using room treatments and it's much more effortless the way I do it in terms of the sonic result. It's harder to do, much harder, much more time involved. It's much easier to do digital room correction. Some systems, you just press a button, put a microphone, it does it all for you. You don't even have to move a parameter. That's very easy. That's good for home theater stuff, right? For the people that are at home with zero experience, they're setting up their 9.1 system, 9.8, whatever the hell it is now. So no, I don't like that shit. It doesn't sound right to me. It sounds like it's been digitally manipulated. It sounds like it doesn't sound the same. Where can we look for Veerstar cable options and prices? Do you ship worldwide? I do ship worldwide. You can find Veerstar cable options on 11stereo.com. And there is, oh, by the way, if you're watching, smash that thumbs up button. Give me a thumbs up just to help me out, man. Give me some love. You don't have to give me money or whatever. Just give me a damn thumbs up. It's easy. Smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Lets me know that you guys are into that I spend my time doing this. There's speaker cables available. Veerstar has been on the back burner because that's all I did in my first 12 years of this business. Is all I did was make cables and sell cables. Well, then when the dealer end or selling components and speakers part of what I did took off, I had to just put the brakes on the other thing because I sat there's too much involved. I don't have the bandwidth to do it all. In 2025, Veerstar will come back in full-fledged regalia, and you'll have all the cables, everything, internet cables, meaning Ethernet cables, USB cables, SPDIF, AES, EBU, speaker cables, power cords, on and on. In 3 different levels. Thanks for the beer. If I transcode my PCM to DSD, do you think it would sound better? It will make it sound more natural typically, and it depends on what algorithm is being used to transcode your PCM to DSD. If it's just some cheap ass algorithm, it may not sound better. If it is a well-developed one, it's going to sound better. PCM has some characteristics about it that make it kind of fatiguing over time. Very few DACs are able to overcome PCM and stay in PCM. That's why typically, my top DACs that I like are DSD DACs. But I do have some that are in the inexpensive, like the new OnTech does PCM phenomenally. So good. Fix It Fred. FIF. Regarding Tom Evans' DAC, it was Mend It Mark whom opened and fixed the DAC. Okay, Mend It Mark. Cool, thanks. I'm in San Diego, but no Mikey rig yet. Okay, Lowell. Well, you got a couple San Diego dudes. You guys can hang out and be a hi-fi tribe. Hey, Mikey and my tribe brothers. What's up, Glenn? Good to see you, man. Only 20 thumbs up. Come on, guys. Yeah, people get lazy. What does it mean? You just give it a thumbs up. Somebody's on the ball. Happy I finally met you at Expona. Awesome experience. And those little Fisher & Fisher bookshelf speakers sounded amazing. I think it was the Kleins. No, it wasn't. It was the SN. Oh, no, at I didn't have them at Expona. Did I? No. Mm-mm. Little Fisher and Fisher bookshelves were at Capitol Audiofest. Is that where you saw me? Room couldn't handle my library. Inuo Sense has no problem. Oh, Rune couldn't handle. Okay, that's good. Brandon, in my endgame speaker, Sonus Faber Amati, but now you made me aware of the Fisher and Fisher. For 35, 40K comparison between the you'll get a lot more from Fisher and Fisher. For 40K, you can get the 670, which is a massive speaker. I think it's 400 pounds. They're 2 cabinets, dual 11-inch subs or 10-inch subs on the bottom, just, woofers, and then a 6.5, an AMT, and a 6.5. And for a little bit over, you could get 770s, those things that I showed you, at Greenie's place for like 45. And those are like, those add another woofer and become a 4-way instead of a 3-way. Those are even more elaborate. You just get so much more for Fisher and Fisher from Fisher and Fisher. Sonus is like they're great speakers, but they're under a corporate moniker, meaning a corporate banking trust or whatever, investment group owns them. And it's a widget. It's just they try and make it as cheap as they can and sell it for as much as they can, because that's the prime directive with corporations. But Fisher and Fisher is still owned by the family that started, the founder, and they're still made by hand in Germany. And the slate comes out of the earth a couple kilometers from where they're made. So it's way cooler, way cooler of a story, way cooler of a history of not. I mean, Sonus does have a great history, so I shouldn't go there. But way cooler of a speaker. The materials are much more exotic, and it sounds different. The Stone speakers have a sound that can't be competed with by MDF, in my opinion. You'll get more for your money with Fisher and Fisher. Curious, what are you planning to drive the Fishers with? Donizetti. 2 Donizettis. 2 Donizettis are 2 of the new Nat Audio Magmas, Evos. It'll be something like that. Thanks for the Unison Research recommendation. Any budget DAC streamer that would pair well, such as the Cambridge Audio Blue Sound Node. Oh, you need the DAC and the streamer together. Blue Sound Node would be fine. Blue Sound Node would be fine. Oh. What are great amps to tri-amp with? Oh man, there's a bunch, man. I need to know about your speakers. You need to call me up and I can consult. Sonically, how are the AA DAC? $5,000, not 55. They're $5,000. And on tech DAC 08 in comparison. They're very similar. The DAC 08, if you want a DAC 08, I actually have one right now that I took back on trade. I'd sell it for $3,000. It's a 40. What is it? A 25, 35, 40. It's a $4,000 DAC. I'll sell it for $3,000. I'll give you a warranty too. They're very similar. Actually, the AA DAC is better. The AA DAC is better. I just remembered that the DAC 08 is the DAC 07 in a different chassis, but it's the same identical DAC. And the AA DAC for $5,000 sounds better. Being that you have the first watt SIT 3 what speakers that you sell with the 20K budget would you put with the SIT 4 that I have? Someone's Class A Nelson's. I don't have any speakers right now for that. I will in January. For 20 years now, for 20 years from now, if I can replace them. Trying to go back and see what drivers are in the entry level. Oh, for 20 years from now, if I can replace them. Okay. So for just if you're concerned about it, buy an extra pair of drivers with the speakers. I can get you an extra complement of drivers, no problem. They're not off the shelf drivers. You can't replace them. If you're worried about it, you just get you get something from Fisher and Fisher. And typically, Man, I saw some Fisher and Fishers when I went there that were over 20 years old. The drivers were still good, but the guy had chipped the cabinets. He dropped them. The movers dropped them, and they needed to redo the cabs. And these were even powered speakers that they had. So if you're concerned about drivers and it's that much of a concern, you just buy them now, because in 20 years they're going to be way more expensive anyways. Is a pure Class A amp objectively better than AB Class amp with the same price tag? No, there's no relation. There's no relation. A Class A amp is older and less efficient, and the Class AB is probably going to be a better amp. But some Class A's are still made very well, and maybe it could be better. It depends on the application, really. But typically an AB is going to be better. I just want to know if it plays beautiful music that moves me. That's right. That's all that matters. Just like my Josephs and PBNs. I can say the Josephs are on a much higher level than PBN to me. But PBN, some of the PBNs are pretty good. Unison Research makes great gear. Any experience with their tube amps? No, I don't have any. Thanks for helping me with my questions. Do you ever hook up a TV to a 2-channel system? Totally, through a DAC. Yeah, absolutely. You use the Toslink. You can't, would HDMI versus optical make any difference? You can't plug an HDMI into a DAC. I just know that HDMI turns on the TV with the amp. I don't know any DAC that's really worthwhile that you can plug an HDMI into. Sounds like something maybe a Chinese DAC might take HDMI, but you just go with Toslink. Does not matter about the speaker drivers, but if you need to know, but it may. Right. It does not matter about the speaker drivers, period. But if you need to know, it may not be the product for you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I just ask because I'd like to know. I like to know what people are thinking when they ask that, because when I used to ask that, I didn't really, usually I was trying to build it in my head. I was trying to determine value. What kind of drivers? And if they were off the shelf, I valued it less than if they were custom drivers, which typically is kind of true. Off the shelf, they might be less. So anyways, regarding Fisher and Fisher drivers, as I mentioned you previously, I'd love to see if Fisher used their Mundorf AMT tweeter in one of their monitors. Call it the NS140. Yeah. Well, I don't think they see a market for it. Those Mundorf AMT tweeters are very expensive. They're like $2,000. So like it would add 2,000. So your monitors, instead of 4,500, would be 6,500 bucks. And at 6,500 bucks, I can get you into a 270 floor stander. So it just doesn't. There's no real reason for it. I don't know. How would those NAT audio transmitter HPS amps work with my 3.7i Maggies in a 42 by 16 inch by 18 ceiling room, or could it go a step down to NAT S1 JC1s? No way, dude. Your room is freaking huge, dude. That's huge. I mean, how are they good now with the JC1s? Again, now you're borderline in the consultation stuff that you can just call me and consult with me. It's free. But the transmitter amps are absolutely what you would want. And yes, you would not. The SE1, no, not in a room that big with Maggies. Someone's asking about drivers. They don't trust you, is my opinion. They're worried about there being a 25 parts express driver. That's right. Yeah, that's what I mean. They're trying to size up the build. Is it Chinese drivers? No, Fisher and Fisher does not use Chinese anything. Maybe a couple resistors might be made in Taiwan, but most of all the capacitors are Mundorf, made in Germany. The drivers are made in Germany. The AMT tweeters are made in Germany. They're from Mundorf as well. They use all German slate. They're very much about making an all German speaker. Um, if he wants to put them in, and beside, you should know whatever model driver is in something right now, chances are that driver will absolutely not be available 20 years from now. They change drivers in 20 years. The companies change their drivers. They don't keep models for 20 years. Maybe some JBL or something might, but very few companies do. So if you're truly worried about 20 years down the road, your $4,500 speakers needing a replacement, then buy a complement of drivers and put them in storage, put them in your closet. I can get you an extra complement of drivers. I use JRiver and use the native transcoding. I will have to look into what algorithm. Do you sell the playback designs A to D? No, playback designs A to D is no longer available. It was $7,000 or $8,000. I have one, but it's not for sale. I think my comment got deleted, but Fisher & Fisher SN70 was rated the best in 2024 by the EAR, or by the ear. Yeah, is that German thing? I got a link to something where some German guy was raving about it. So that's cool. Fisher & Fisher, that's a crazy speaker. I told you guys. Yes, it was Capital Audiofest, and my bad. Yeah, that's right. It was, because that's the only place I had them. Have your Veerstar Grand Illusion silver power cords, great sounding power cables. Man, you're lucky, brother. There's not very many of those out, and people sell them, and a lot of times don't know the value, and they end up selling for really cheap sometimes. I've actually, and on the flip side, I've seen them sell for more than I sold them for. I'm looking at going, oh my God, man, look at what they're selling them for. People have made money on my power cords. I will say that again. People have bought Veristar power cords from me and then sold them on the used market after they used them for a couple of years and made money. I've seen it. If I was going to finish my basement into a listening room, what are your recommendations? It has sheetrock but cement floor. That's great. I know you're redoing your room. I'd put in a hardwood floor and use rugs, and that's great. And you have sheetrock, which is fine. Put some treatments up. You probably got block walls in the basement, so you got concrete block behind that. It's a great place for a sound room, is in the basement, because it's a slab. Did you know if you don't pay for it, the toots get angry, but you did not break the law? Again, we got the Riddler. It's getting harder and harder to find skilled audio repairmen. Dying breed. Yeah, big time. That's for sure, man. Sup, man? I have a Galleon Audio showing up for my third setup gaming room. Have you heard that amp at all? No, but it's like a cheap Chinese tube amp, right? That Thomas and Stereo, had made for him or something. No big deal. I mean, those amps like that have been made for the last 20 years. There's nothing that I know that would be special about it. But if you're happy with it, that's all that matters, right? Sup, Mikey and the tribe. Oakland sending big love. What's up, that one? Broham. Nice to see you again, man. EARC does TV. Yeah, I don't even know what EARC is. Some of the streamer DAC combos like the Weem Ultra can do that. Yeah, see, I think you're talking about Chinese stuff, and I don't swim in those waters, bro. Are you going to have a room at Expona? No. Tribing and vibing, you know it, Harry. Are you going to have a room at Expona in April? No. I grew up with black slate floors in my parents' house. If you clean with water, they turn white until completely dried. Your customers freak when they turn white with water. No, they don't turn white because these are sealed. Your parents' floors, first of all, there's a different slate that's used on a floor than there is in a 1-inch thick speaker. This slate is this thick. Okay. Slate is blackboards like you used to have in your school when you were a little kid, the blackboard on the wall. It's not the same slate. And flooring is not the same slate either. This is a very dense type of slate. They can only use a certain type of slate, and they have certain veins of it. All the other stuff has to be used for flooring and shingles. And then there's some thick, dense stuff that can be used for the speakers. And then they seal it so it water beads up and drops off it. I can put water on top and it'll sit like a bead. It won't do anything. It won't soak in. It'll just sit there like a ball on top of the speaker. So they don't turn white. Evening Tribe. Good evening, Carl. Damn, y'all made this ugly for a simple question. I justify these purchases for their longevity. Okay. Am I going to have an expensive slate box? $4,500 is expensive? Oh, $20K plus. Oh, okay. So you're wondering about the big, I mean, I don't know. I mean, 20 years is a long time, bro, to like try and think ahead and get concerned about. But if you're, um buy another complement of speakers. So I mean, why would they wouldn't break, okay? A speaker, unless you sit it in the sun or whatever, is just going to keep working, it's just going to keep working. It has to break. If you break it, then you want a replacement driver. Fisher and Fisher will still be around in 20 years. I know who the successors are. And they'll repair it, or they'll send you parts, or you just buy another complement of speakers, another complement of drivers. If you're really concerned about it, that's what people do. That's what I do. I buy extra tubes with the tube amp. If I'm really concerned about my speakers, I'm going to buy an extra complement of drivers, every single driver. I'm going to have it in a box somewhere if I plan to keep it for a long period of time. Typically, someone will sell a pair of speakers after by 10 years or something like that. But Fisher and Fisher, like Greeny just said, well, they've got him across the line. He doesn't want to sell at all. Because you answered, so now we understand why you asked. And you asked, I mean, it's a long shot that something's going to happen. I mean, when was the last time you needed to replace a driver? The only time I ever have is when I blew a speaker, and it was my fault. But I asked just to know where people are coming from, because some people ask for different reasons. If they are available, just say that. If they're available, they're not going to be available. No. What I'll tell you is, in 20 years they won't be available. There will be something different that will be available, but the drivers that are in there will not be available. I can almost guarantee you that. Basement listening. Add a layer of green glue and another sheet on the ceiling. If you don't have room, you can float hand the sheets if you have 8-foot ceilings in the basement to get an air gap. There you go. If you're really going for it, sure. Use isoacoustics isolator on Fisher and Fisher speakers. If your DAC is too sharp and you need to trim them back, then yes. Basement listening. Add a layer of green glue. Okay, we got that. Basement list, we got that. Luan, I still use Veristar power cords even after my bastard dog took a dump on them. His dog's like 3 pounds and the turd was like an ounce or less. Maybe less. That's a big turd, an ounce. It's probably like a quarter ounce. It was just a little turdlet from a little dog. Carpet on the floor in the room above also helps. Okay. Him's a good boy. Yeah, he is. Okay, guys. And I've caught up. Hour and 24. 168 viewers, man. I don't want to leave 168 viewers, but maybe next time I'll have to. But I'll have this show again on Wednesday. Wait, Wednesday I might be in. No, Wednesday I'll be here. I have to go up to Chicago. I'm doing an install in Chicago with Fisher and Fisher 670s and a whole Playback Designs rig. But I got to run. Thanks everybody for joining. I love to have you here. I love to talk with you all. Bring any questions. We'll go over stuff. If you guys have ideas for things that you'd like to see me do, just give me the idea. And soon enough, I'll be back to showing some of the new gear that I've got coming up. Any chance of 2024 favorite products? No, I don't. That's kind of like a stroke job, to try and like fill a video or something like that. My favorite products are the products on my website. So if you go to 11 Stereo, those are my favorite 2024 products. So that's the best thing. Thanks for pushing on. Yeah, you bet, man. No worries. I am a little tired. Good to see everybody. I will see you guys on Wednesday. All right. See ya.